this video, I'm going to cover the 3 biggest weight loss mistakes that women over the age of 40 make. And coming up in this video, I'm going to give you an update on my 6-week shred challenge and how you can take part. Hello and welcome to my channel, fam. My name's Melissa Neal and my channel is about helping women over the age of 40 transform their bodies and get into the best shape of their lives. And yes, that is possible. I'm 53 and if you like the sound of that, please do hit the subscribe button and give this video the thumbs up. And don't forget you can follow me on Instagram. So, the 3 biggest weight loss mistakes, what are they? I've made all of these mistakes, so I want to share them with you so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did, because getting in shape over the age of 40 is much more challenging than when we were younger, isn't it? And I know this is what I used to look like. And this is what I look like now. Here are my 3 biggest weight loss mistakes. Number 1, doing too much cardio. You don't need to do hours and hours of cardio. And I was that woman when I was in my 40s. I was doing a lot of cardio. I was even running and I was training for a half marathon. And this is what I looked like when I was doing a lot of running and training for a half marathon. But you really don't need to be doing hours and hours of cardio, and it isn't that good for you, because what happens is your metabolism will adjust to doing all that cardio. And so when you stop doing the cardio, or when you try to kind of take down doing the cardio, your body's going to just put a lot more fat on. And you've probably noticed that when you see women our age that are doing lots and lots of cardio and they're not doing any weight training or resistance training, they kind of have that skinny fat look, and it's not good. The most successful way of doing cardio is 21-minute HIIT cardio. I'm going to talk about that at the end of this video when I talk about my 6-week shred. But that's what I do, between 20 and 30 minutes of HIIT cardio 3 or 4 times a week, and that is going to really burn fat. So that's number 1, don't do too much cardio. My number 2 biggest mistake is not building strength training into your routine or weightlifting. Weightlifting is so important, and it's how I got into the shape that I'm in today, and I cannot recommend it enough. Building muscle is not going to make you bulky. That is a big myth. What happens as you get older, you start to lose muscle because your hormones are changing. Your estrogen and your progesterone is decreasing. Therefore, what's happened is you are losing muscle and storing more fat. What we need to do as we get older is put the muscle back on that we've lost, and that's done through weight training or resistance training. I've linked a video up here where you can watch more about how to do resistance training or strength training, but this is also part of my 6-week shred, and you can do resistance training and strength training from home. The other benefit of strength training is you're going to sort of build a foundation of muscle that's going to help you burn fat, because what carrying muscle does, and this has happened to me, is it actually burns fat while you are not doing anything. Muscle is burning energy while you're just sitting around. So what you will find is if you're developing muscle, you actually burn fat more easily, and really importantly, you're going to get rid of that belly fat that's really difficult to get rid of as we get into our 40s and 50s. So you mustn't be afraid of lifting heavy weights in the gym. It will do you the power of good. My number 3 mistake that women make over the age of 40 make is they get the diet all wrong. And I did this. I did the wrong diet. You can't train your way out of a poor diet. If you're eating junk food, pizzas, sweet things, cakes, that kind of thing, you are not going to be able to do loads of workouts and counteract that. It's really, really important to focus on your diet. And in my 6-week shred, I lay out a really fantastic diet for you for women over the age of 40, and I'm not talking about a starvation diet. It's really important when you get over the age of 40 to have the correct diet. And I'm going to link up here a video that I've made that talks about how you can implement the correct diet. Or if you go on my 6-week shred, the whole diet will be laid out for you. So that will make life much, much easier. But another thing that we women do when it comes to diet, and I've done this myself as well, is take the calories too low. In terms of sort of performing some of the workouts that I've talked about, like your HIIT training, your strength training, you actually need calories in to be able to do that training. So it's important not to take your calories too low. So I know I took my calories down to as low as 1,300 calories, which is way too low for somebody of my weight. So I weigh around 52 kilos. It needs to be around 1,600, 1,700 calories for a fat loss diet. So it's really important not to take your calories too low, because what happens then is you screw your metabolism. Your metabolism will be really messed up. You can end up being on this yo-yo dieting treadmill as well, because I've done this as well, where I've done the diet all week and then binge on the weekend because my calories are so low. I've got to kind of have something to feed up again over the weekend, and then it's just destroyed everything that you've done. So it's much better to have your calories up higher, and I've lost much more weight by having my calories up higher and be able to eat something fairly substantial, and then it doesn't lead you to go off track. And also it's much healthier and better for your metabolism. And if you're doing all the exercise that I talked about, you really do need those calories in to support your workouts. And another thing when it comes to diet that women seem to really be fascinated about, and women over the age of 40, is cutting out carbs. And I talked to a friend the other day that was talking about cutting out carbs, and I just said to her, look, you don't need to do that. It's not going to be beneficial, because if you're going to perform the workouts that we've talked about, you need carbohydrates in your system to do strength training. You need it to do the HIIT workouts, to have the energy to do the workouts. So it's really important. You know, I eat bread, rice. I don't like pasta, but I'd have pasta in if I could. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, oats, all those kind of carbohydrates. There's nothing wrong with them. And I got really, really lean eating carbohydrates. And I'm not a fan of keto. You know, if you're watching this and you want to do keto and you like keto and you don't like having carbs, then that's great. But for most people, it's not sustainable in the long term, and you need a diet that's sustainable in the long term. That was my 3 biggest weight loss mistakes that women over the age of 40 make. And now I'm going to update you on my 6-week shred challenge that I've been doing over the last 6 weeks. I'm going to just put some comparison pictures up here. I have actually dropped some body fat. I've gone from 53 kilos to 52 kilos, which I believe I've lost about 2 pounds in weight. I've gone from 117 pounds to 115 pounds, so not a significant amount of weight. But then I don't weigh very much anyway. But in terms of my pictures and what I look like, I can see that my abs are showing through. I do look a lot leaner in my pictures. In terms of my measurements, So I started off as a 25.5-inch waist. I've now gone down to a 24.5-inch waist, which I think that's the smallest I've ever been, even when I've been on stage. So really happy with that. And I've gone down from a 37-inch hip to a 36-inch hip. So you can see it has been successful. I'm really happy to tell you that you can also take part now in this 6-week shred challenge. And it's a challenge that's specifically designed for women over the age of 40. We need more fat in our diets because of our fluctuating hormones. As I said in my 3 biggest mistakes, we really need to focus on the HIIT workouts to get the maximum fat burning, and we also need to do strength training, and that is all in this program. So it's a fantastic program. You want something that's designed specifically for women over the age of 40. So I'm going to link down below where you can sign up for the program and get more information. So if you liked this video, please do give it the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button to get the bell notifications. And do give me a follow on Instagram, where I do daily updates and lots of useful tips and information for fat loss and transforming your bodies for women over the age of 40.